rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it.
Oh, that smacks. What is good, everybody? Top of the morning, top of the afternoon, top of the evening, no matter where you are at, you are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to another international Trap Talk, Dabs, and Coffee Sessions. I'm your boy, MJ. What is good? Happy Saturday. Should be Saturday no matter where you're tuned in at, if you're tuned in live. Saturdays are a good day for me. That's why my energy is always on point. But if this is your first time tapping in, what is cracking? Welcome to Trap Talk with MJ. Please do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're liking the podcasts. Let the guests know how you're liking the shows. All the above. What is good? All my early birds in the building, man. See, it's going to be a great morning, great afternoon, or great evening. I forget. Trap Talk is global. I got people tuning in from all over the world right now. So this is epic. But before we get started, you guys know what the deal is. For the freshest and bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep, coldbloodedcafe.com, please. Professionally packed rodents, anywhere from the day one pinks all the way to the mammoth rats to your doorstep. Your reptiles will thank you. Shout out to Steven and Desiree, who have a fucking sick-ass photo shoot going on. RepTech got some crazy thing going on. If you guys know who is Zach is from I am making art or something like that. Heavy things going on over there. But shout out to Steve and Desiree. Love you guys. Shout out to Alex and John over at Sim Containers. If you got eggs, put them inside of a Sim box. Thank me later. Humidity is on point. No food seal wrap. Less steps. You bet it's easier to just minimize your steps when... What am I trying to get at? I'm just saying it's a lot easier just putting an egg inside of a Sim container. Proven fact. I got nothing but Sim containers. I use them all. Shout out to Sim Container. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. And shout out to Focus Cube Habitats. Future of enclosures has arrived. PVC built enclosures based out of Texas. Flex in Texas all day. But yeah, shout out to Steven and Ashley for doing big things. Keeping animals a lot easier when you keep them inside an enclosure that you could just move around whenever you want, you know. PVC enclosures are super light. You can move those bad boys around whenever you want. And their styles, their custom built styles that they have going on is something that you don't want to miss. So go check out their website. Go check out their Instagram. Let them know MJ sent you. Yeah. And then shout out to Jesse and the entire Freedom Breeder crew for leading the industry when it comes to stainless steel racks. That's right. Leading the industry, baby. Can't wait to get my room decked out in Freedom Breeder stainless steel racks because guess what? They never lose their value. If you out there have a Freedom Breeder rack, right there, you're smiling like, yeah, man, Freedom Breeders is shit. There you go. You know what I'm saying. But anyways, shout out to Jesse. Shout out to the whole Freedom Breeder crew. Thank you so much for sponsoring the trap. And then here we go. One of my biggest inspirations by far in this game has always been Miguel Garcia, a.k.a. Always Evolving Pythons, always doing some outlandish shit to make you want to just do more with your life. That's this guy. Go give him a follow. He has amazing clutches going on. Dude, this guy is fucking killing it this year. Go figure. Guy always kills it. But right now, with the shit that he has hatching out, a lot of it has to do with Sunset and a bunch of other DG stuff. It's just like, bro, it's sky's the limit with this guy. I'm telling you right now, you just want to go check him out. And, you know, other than breeding snakes, can inspire your life when it comes to wanting to do YouTube and other great shit. The guys is all about making great moves. So shout out to Miguel Garcia. Thank you for sponsoring the channel, and shout out to the whole AEP team, Turtle, Jesse, fucking Aubrey and fucking Ace. Sorry, I don't know why I fucked up your kid's name. I miss them though. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. You guys are amazing. And then guys, US Arc always needs our support. Please don't stop helping US Arc. Talk about it. Let's fight about it. Let's fucking do what we got to do to keep these snakes protected. Because at the end of the day, no one's taking my snakes. I'm dead ass serious. Shit will get really, really, really like third world country if anyone tries to come take my animals. And I'm sure a lot of you out there feel the same. And we don't want it to ever get to that point. So let's do what we got to do to help US Arc fight for our animal rights. Go down to the link below, read up on it, become a member, donate anything you can. That being said, any super chats that gets donated into today's live, any live, period, gets immediately sent over to US Arc. So if you have an important question for today's guest and you're like, fuck, I hope MJ answers my question because I really want to ask this question, we'll drop a super chat because two good things about that. I swear to God, I'll ask your question unless it's really rude. I'll ask your question. And then two, that whatever dollar, fucking whatever the hell you just donated goes straight to US Art. So it's winning on all cases. Okay. So don't be shy out there with the super chats. Let's get the super chats going. Let's get things moving. And yes, last but not least, if you need to get a hold of me, if you want to see what I'm working with, if you want to see what the fuck's good over here at the trap, please go give me a follow on Instagram, mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. Go give the Trap Talk with MJ podcast Instagram page a follow. That way you're on top of every single updates and whatnot. And yeah, I post everything up there on that page as well. So shout out to all my Twitch viewers. If you're tuning in from Twitch, thank you so much for supporting. If you like to support this channel more than a subscription, or if you like for me to give a direct deposit to US Arc, you can put that in the notes and you can send it to PayPal at mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. And yeah, mjexoticscartal619 at Gmail for PayPal. And then yeah, shouts out my Patreon members, man. You guys are my heart. I love my Patreon family so much. If you out there want to be a part of a sick ass Patreon family and fucking see people who just are just about it and trying to grow, and we just all about networking, man. My Patreon family is all about connecting and networking straight up. We just all hooking each other up. So if you out there want to get hooked up, go down to the Patreon page. Come fuck with my Trap Talk Patreon family. Come see what it's all about. We get together every single Sunday. We tap in together and we keep it tight in it. You know what I'm saying? And I have special stuff coming for all my Patreon family members, which you guys know about. And I will talk to you guys more about that tomorrow on Sunday's Trap Talk Zoom session. But anyways, let's get moving because I have my homegirl tapped in from Canada right now. And I cannot wait to get her on the show and get questions asked because I got a lot of questions for her. But before we get into that, what is good with my early birds, Cascade Critters? We already got Canadian in the building. What is good, Harry? I love Harry. What is good? Got my homie Angel, Reptile Club in the building. What is good? Angel, thank you for tapping in. This is all Patreon family, by the way. Jacob, what is good, Jacob? Thanks for tapping in. Patreon family all day. Evolution Exotics, go follow my man Matt. He's fucking killing it right now with some sick shit. Marlon, also killing it with some sick shit right now. All Trap Talk Patreon family. I love you guys. Sean Perry, what is good? Chris Sexton, this is my boy right here. What is up, Chris? Thanks for tapping in, my man. I know it's gonna be a good show when Chris is here. Like, okay, when Chris taps in, like when the informative shit, you know what I mean? And I could tell Chris is here to collect some informative information. Thank you for tapping in, Chris. Scales, fins, and feathers. What is good? Oh shit, we have the general who's up just as early as I am. This guy beats me sometimes in the morning, and he's up attending his chickens, his farm animals. This is the guy I want to be when I'm fucking his age. Not that you're older or anything, General, but I do salute you. You are OG with all due respect. Thanks for being here. Snow Pythons, what is good, Snow Pythons? The homie Derek Pied Retix, Patreon member, all here every day. How's OJ doing? We should get together soon because I missed that guy and I want to see how he's doing. So if you guys don't know, I sold my favorite Retic, OJ, to Derek, and he's living a good life now. What is good, Matt Summers? Matt, we need to talk. We got a game plan our next trip. It's coming up. But what's good, Matt? Please go give MSR a follow and go subscribe to him on YouTube because the motherfucker is being slept on. Stop sleeping on my boy, Matt. What is good, Nate Dogg? Morning fam, tuning in to another great. Yeah, you don't know what the deal is, Nate Dogg. What is good? AB in the building. What's up, Adrian? Thank you for being here. John, Underworld Exotics. What is good? Thanks for being here. Railway City Reptiles, Canada in the building. 808 Ball Pythons on me. John in the building. What's up, Papa? How you doing, bro? Ballistics Pythons. My boy right here. Thanks for tapping in, June. Dragon soul reptiles. I said that. Dragon soul reptiles. What is good? Sorry, damn, Steve, back up, bro. All right. All right. Let's see. I got a couple more. Hella Heat Morphs. I like that name, bro. Hella Heat Morphs all day. Royal Clutch is a boy right here. What is it? I can't wait to tap in with you on the next show, man. Good homie right here. Aurora Exotics. What is good? And we're gonna end it on F&N Balls. What is good, player? Thanks for keeping it trappy, and thanks for spending your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening here. Let's get going. I have Canadians in the building, and we want to get this show moving. I was referred this guest to me by Will Moros. Can you believe it? Royal Canadian Reptiles came through and was like, yo, I got somebody. I'm referring her to you. And I'm like, her? Because guess what? I don't bring too many females to the show. Not that I don't want to. I just have it. So anytime I have an opportunity to bring some girl who has some heat, I'm all over it. And guess what? She's tapping in from Canada, like I said, and here she is now, Nicole.
Hello.
From Canadian Regius. What is good? Are you okay? Are you awake right now? Are we good?
I'm so. I'm good.
Okay. So me and Nicole. What's up, Nicole? How are you? Top of the morning. I'm
good.
For being here. What part of Canada are you in? First off,
Southern Ontario.
Southern Ontario. So that means it's afternoon right now.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So how's it going? Okay, let's kind of catch people up because me and you kind of got talking during sound check that you're basically been in the middle of a move right now. Like things are going pretty crazy for you right now. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like let's open it up with that. What's going on with your move?
So found a new place that was a bit better for the snakes. Kind of ran out of room here. I'm kind of working on 2 bedrooms. It's not working out very well, so found a new place, and moving everyone next week, basically. Prepping right now.
How far is the move?
It's the same street, like 15 minutes down, so it's not too bad.
Sweet, just bigger place.
Pretty much, yeah. It's got a whole unfinished basement that I'll turn into the facility.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, now I'm like, I can't wait to be as excited as you are once I find my place to like move in. But I've been house hunting with my wife for like the last 2 months.
It's stupid right now.
In Southern California. Okay. So the problem I'm having right now is like, dude, we've saved over a year for the down payment. The money's there. That's not the issue, but we're getting these competitive offers where people are matching our our cash, like our down payment, but they don't want, like, they want to waive the inspection or they want to do shit with the appraisal. And I'm just like, this is our first home. So my wife's looking at me like, we're not doing any of that stupid shit. And I'm just like, fuck. Like, so, oh man, like but what I'm getting at is I can't wait to just look at that room that's empty. And I'm like, it's fucking time to start feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's that kid feeling. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
I can't. So let's talk about the, what's your game plan, because are you in the middle of breeding or have you started pairing yet? What's going on right now with your snakes?
I'm kind of treating things normally. I've started pairing. I'll just give them like a week off pairing and feeding, obviously, during the move, and then start back up and see how it goes. I'm not really expecting much. I'm just going to see how it goes, and that's it. That's all you can do, really.
Cool. I mean, so since we're on the topic of, your productions and whatnot, I mean, what are we looking at each year as of right now? Like, how many clutches are you producing?
Between 20 and 30 is about average.
Cool. And then this is, for people who don't know, like myself, how far back does this go for you? Like, how long have you been involved breeding ball pythons and whatnot?
Okay. I started keeping in ball pythons specifically in 2009, and I had my first season in 2011.
Dude, so you've been doing this?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Oh shit, respect. Because we're gonna look at your page, and I was kind of digging at your stuff, and I was like, okay, there's either two things. She's either been doing this for a while and it's been really good at holding back her heat, or she has money and she's kind of pulling a JP, and she came in like maybe 3 years ago and just like caught up really quick.
I definitely did it the slow way.
No, right. Because that's the rare way. Like, JPs are not common. Like JPs and always evolving pythons and people who come in with money and last is not something that's common. It happens. Obviously they're doing it, but like, it's not something that's very common. Right. So that's awesome. That respect to you. You've been in this shit since 2009. So 2011, right? So let's kind of speed up to you producing clutches. Was it just a hobby at that time for you, or was your mind frame like, yo, I need to turn this into a business?
It was a hobby at first. I've always been into breeding all sorts of critters and animals. So cool. Once I got to the snakes, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is me. And the rest is history.
So, I mean, okay, so you've always been into breeding stuff. So, I mean, this probably
Mm.
goes back to when you were young then, right?
Oh
I'm assuming.
yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
started before I was 10 breeding birds.
And what was the inspiration behind that, if you don't mind? Like, what got you to like you wanting to be this way? Because obviously, there's always that kind of like spark as a kid or something that you were around that was like, whoa, you know. So, do you recall what that was?
For animals in general,
Yeah.
I do remember the one moment that just got me hooked on just wildlife. Saw a little baby bird when I was young, out in my yard that was just a fledgling, just about to start flying, and I was just fascinated by this little bird. And I don't know why, but that's my first memory of just that was outside ever since, looking for other stuff to mess around with.
Dang, awesome. I love that. It was the same with me too, you know, just seeing stuff outside. You know, if it's one thing I wish I saw more of was snakes, but snakes
Yeah.
were like, you know, snakes in my area were like either if you did see them, they were venomous, like they were like a rattlesnake, and I would always see them dead. Like everyone just killed them around this
Ah, it's
area.
a bummer.
Yeah, it would suck. And that made me love it even more. Like that made my love for the snake like grow even more because I was like always like that's so fucked up. And I
Right.
remember just staring like it's kind of traumatizing because I remember being like a kid staring at a snake. Like they would just leave like the head and like literally just there, like kind of like a I don't know
Yeah.
if it was teenagers or whatever did it, but I remember just seeing that like all my friends would just keep moving and I would just sit there and stare at it like really sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just was always into snakes and the fact that I couldn't see him as often, like I had a ball python growing up as a kid, but like I knew that there was stuff in my area. You know what I mean? I remember my friends would always say, "Oh, I found a king snake and shit like that," but I just would rarely find anything. You know what I mean? So that created a crazy passion and fascination for reptiles. And I would obsess over zoo magazines and stuff. Like, did you ever watch the zoo?
Yeah.
You ever like look at books and stuff like
Oh
that?
yeah, all the time.
And like I remember just like thinking I would never see anything like this in my entire life, just because how like unreal it was to me.
Yeah.
And then here speed up in my 30s, I start getting stuff that like literally reminds me of the stuff in the zoo books. I'm like, what a life.
It's
what a,
crazy. It's
what
crazy
a
looking
trip.
back.
Yeah. All right, cool. So 2011, 2012, how many clutches was your first year? Was it super just like just one or two, or like did you build up to have a good amount of clutches on your first year?
My first year, I just had 2 clutches,
Cool.
and then my second, I had, I think, 4. I just went up from there.
Cool. Awesome. And let's see. So with your clutches, right? Like back then, there were so many crazy investments on just like single gene snakes, right? I mean,
Yeah, it was
it was.
nuts.
So what was your game plan back then, especially with no social media? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you have anybody around in your area that you still talk to now that you want to maybe give props to helping you out or anything like that?
Not that early. I will say though, my first breeder male I bought from Mark Mandic, Mark and Jane.
Go
Um,
figure. Oh, geez.
and so he's just been around since the beginning. So if I would give props to anyone, it'd be him. He's been awesome.
Respect. Yeah, it's funny you say that because anyone that I've really looked up to in the Canadian, field of the breeding realm has always give props to Marcus and
Oh
Jane.
yeah,
And it's like, dude, it's so like it's like a given. I don't know if you ever
yeah,
like knew what baseball was, but like this guy Tony Gwynn right here, like I was a Dodger fan, and this guy played on a team that was like the rival, but he was such a person who was automatic on like anytime he was at the plate, he'd like go on base. Like he was like that good.
nice.
And like Marcus Jane is like those people that are just people get name dropped
Yeah,
all the time because how
he's an
much
OG. He's been around forever, and he's
I
an
love it.
awesome guy.
I love it. So okay, that being said, like what were the genes? Like what were your startup investment projects like that you could recall that kind of carried you to where you're at right now?
So back then, it was over $1,000, and I was still a teenager at that time, so it wasn't a little bit of money, but it was a butter spider male is what I invested in my first breeder male,
A
and
butter spider?
I bred him to a normal and a pastel, to start.
Okay. And so do you know what the price was of that snake? The butter spider that you remember?
1,300.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay. So and you bred it to, I'm sorry, you bred it to what?
a normal and a pastel.
Okay, cool. Now, I mean, I'm always curious. I never bred spiders because, obviously there was a big wave of like, you know, the
Yeah.
whole the wobble thing, right? So I mean, at what point were you kind of like, holy shit, these things have some sort of a wobble? Like when did that kind of like hit you?
It was known still back then. It wasn't.
Okay.
I got a lot of information from ballpythons.net. It's still around. I don't think anyone really uses it much anymore, but it wasn't a surprise because I already knew that was part of it. But spider was one of the only things around at the time, so it was kind of just a normal thing, you know?
People just went with it.
Yeah.
But then now it's like kind of like now people are like, well, we have a choice, and now people are like
Yeah.
trying to say go against it, which at the end of the day, it's just a preference. I mean, I don't know.
Agreed.
It's just what it's. I mean, the snake's not living a terrible. It's not like, you know, the snake could eat, shed, and have bowel
Yeah.
movements. That's a fucking happy
I've
snake. Too.
never had a problematic spider. They've always just thrived. They've always been great.
All right. So the next step up then, right? Because obviously as years gone down, stuff became more available. So what was that first recessive gene, or what was the first big gene, like, you know, that was kind of like putting you to the level of producing like the heat, you know?
Yeah. Pied, definitely my first recessive.
Nice.
Probably within my first year, I bought a pied female from Corey Woods. So that was my first recessive.
Another
Yeah.
OG.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
And then pretty much just rode the pied train for a while. Still, it's like pretty much most of my collection right now is pied.
And so Pieds is, I mean, who did I talk to about this? I can't remember. I think I do remember. I think it was Will, but like, you know, Pied was something where it was really like high value at one point, like just like a single gene Pied, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what area, like at what time where was Pied at when you started like really investing and working with Pied? Like what was a single Pied going for? Do you remember? Like, do you remember like around what?
It wasn't bad. I paid $1,500 for my female, and that was 11 years ago. So it wasn't bad at all, I don't think.
Okay, so it wasn't really ever really too crazy, because I could have sworn Pied was also that gene that was like $30,000 at one point or something like that.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I'm sure at one point back in early 2000s or something. I'm sure.
Right. Okay. So right now, I mean, you just said Pied is probably one of the biggest things that you have going on in your projects.
Oh, yeah.
What are the combinations, like what are your favorite combinations going with Pied right now? Like what are some of your like most anticipated projects that you maybe you've already had this year that you maybe want to share, or something that you maybe have coming up?
So, incomplete dominant wise, definitely blackhead. That's probably my favorite gene just to go with a pied, and I'm working on implementing that into Desert Ghost and Monarch as well. So the holy grail would be something like a blackhead Desert Ghost Monarch pied. Maybe throw some Hurricane in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is very powerful stuff.
Trying.
Okay, so I mean, at what point, Nicole, did you make an actual business out of this? Like, you know, was it right off like the bat in 2012, or like did you kind of wait a couple years down the road before you actually established like the actual Canadian Regius brand?
So I pretty much did it right away.
Cool.
I think, yeah, 2011, I think is when I started my Facebook page, Canadian Regis, got my website up, and I just pretty much went all in.
Cool. And then, so, I mean, so social media, when did you start your social media account?
I'm pretty sure in 2011.
Okay. And that was Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And then you jumped on Instagram as soon as it started getting going, right?
No, actually, I was kind of
Or you
late to
were
the
late?
party. It took Khalil, actually. I was at a show and he came up. He's like, "Why aren't you on Instagram?" I'm like, I don't want to deal with all that. So he like took my phone out of my hand. He's like, "Here, let me do this." And he did my first post for me. And ever since, I've just been on it.
Did
So
he
shout
really
out to him.
did he really create the account, or was the account already created and you just didn't post anything?
You know what? I don't remember. He probably just went and did it all and did my first post for
Hey,
me.
Khalil's a real one. That's why I
Yeah,
love
he
him.
is. Yeah, he's awesome.
Damn. What a sick ass homie. Okay, that's tight.
Right?
I have a super chat question, if you don't mind, if we could just answer that real quick.
Go for it.
So I think you might have maybe covered this, but we'll ask Agent's question. But what is your most exciting clutch that you've had already? Like, what is something you've already produced that is something you're the most proud of, I guess you could say?
Well, exciting because of what happened, not so much what I produced.
Oh, cool.
I bought a leopard desert ghost female off of Justin a few years ago, and she ended up proving double head hypopied. And when I proved her pied, it was probably the most excited I've ever been hatching something out, because desert ghost pied
Damn.
is my top project. So now I have a proven breeder leopard desert ghost double head hypopied in my racks now, and that's awesome.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah, that's probably has to be like one of the most like best wild card about this hobby that you could
Yeah,
endure, is like having something prove out that you just had no idea it had. But give or take, like that's the beauty of buying something from like Justin or Billy or
yeah.
like somebody who's been working with stuff forever. Like I have an inchy clown that ended up having yellow belly in it. It came from Justin.
Oh,
And I
nice.
couldn't believe it. I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Like this thing has yellow belly, and it like literally it just upped all my holdbacks that this snake's already done for me. Like that means like I went back and looked at most of the holdbacks that I'm pretty sure I have yellow belly in it now. I mean, I won't know for sure until you know, but I'm like
Right.
pretty confident about it,
That's
Um,
awesome. Yeah, love it. Love it when these surprises pop up. It never gets old.
yeah. So okay, let's talk about now. I know you talked about Marcus and Jane kind of like helped you out there in the beginning, but like when you were like coming up and whatnot and getting involved in breeding, were you attending any shows in your area? Like were you actually linking up with breeders or doing anything like that?
I'd go to shows as just a visitor. I didn't start vending until maybe 2016, I want to say, somewhere around there. I don't vend often. I'm 4 hours away from Toronto, so to pack everybody up,
No
drive,
mission.
and do it all, and it's a lot.
It
But
is.
hopefully in the future, I'll do it a bit more.
I'm terrified of doing it just because of the risk of traveling,
That
packing.
too, yeah.
I'm just like I'm a klutz, you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that I'm a stoner, I do kind of like forget small steps. Like, I'm the worst. Like, I'll be ready for like if I have a plane flight the next day, like the way I do things, I kind of do things last minute. But like, let's say something were to come up and I'm in a rush, I'll forget something 110%. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And things could happen where you could get in a rush all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I could definitely like. Looking past all the risk and like the stress, I have actually been behind a vendor booth, all set up, hanging out, seeing people come by, and it's sick. I like it.
It's fun. It's the best.
I really do enjoy it. And I do know if I had my wife hanging out where like I wouldn't have to be stuck at the table 24/7, and I could at least like because I have ADD, so like I can't just be at the same spot all the time. Like
Right.
I get FOMO just by not being at a different table at a certain time. Like I just how I get. But like I work with the like Mike, all I produce is ball pythons, and nothing against that. I love it, but like if I ever get to the point and I am producing ball pythons, green tree pythons, all this other shit that I'm working with, I would love to display it on a table, like just to have
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Because if it's one thing why I was very against like, I would never go sell at an event. I would not want to go sell my animals at a show just because, I don't know, like I like to wear, I know it's going to be impossible someday. And this is only my second year technically breeding, but the way I've been selling animals, I could still be in contact with most of the people I sell animals to. And I like that. Like I like
Yeah.
kind of being in touch, but I know once I get to the capacity of 20, 30, 40, 50 clutches, that's going to be damn near impossible to do. You know what I mean? So, I just like right now I'm still a little too attached to my productions, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
for me to give it to some hillbilly at a show and watch it walk away. You know what I mean? No offense to all the hillbillies out there, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, like I said, I talked to Justin Kabelka, even Ozzy before about this, and like the reason why they go to a show is just to show off their shit. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and just to market everything and just kind of like just show appreciation of all the work they've been doing to the people who want to come see it and stuff like that. So if I ever get to that point where people really want to see my stuff, I would vend. It would not be somewhere like Tinley or like somewhere like fucking across the country. Like it would have to be a local show. And to be honest, Nicole, the local shows here just don't slap the same as they slap in Arlington and fucking
I bet.
Tinley. Have you been to any Tinleys or anything like that yet?
No, I was going to, but then COVID happened, and here we are.
I don't want to get political, but do you get your shots? Like, do you have all that done, or what? Or
No,
you don't?
I don't. No.
Do you plan on doing that?
We'll see. It
Okay.
depends on how restricted things get.
The only reason why I be asking you Canadians that is because I want you guys to come here.
I know.
We need you guys to. We need more of the like Canadian heat at these shows. And guess what? I'm going to a Canada show for sure. I'm tapping into
Nice.
Canada for sure next year. So you can best believe
You should.
I'll meet you either way at some point.
Sweet.
But it would be cool. Like I could tell you, nothing gets me more excited when I see fucking Will and Khalil pull up with their group of fucking Canadian homies, like fucking Foster and
Yeah.
Chris and Christian and dude, the guy, you guys are just so deep. Canada's so deep with heat. I love it.
Ooh. Yeah, we are.
But okay, let me ask you this. So coming up in the game, like who are some of the people you were inspired by when it came to projects? Like, obviously we talked about Marcus and Jane, but the Pied projects, was there anybody out there that was really like blowing your mind with some Pied stuff that was kind of inspiring you to continue to work with Pied?
That's a good question. I want to say Mark again. Mark was such a huge inspiration for me for a lot of my early days, a lot. Um, and then probably the past 5 or so years, Justin's been a big inspiration with Pied and with his Black Xanthic stuff as well. Desert Ghost as well. Will is a good inspiration for his Desert Ghost stuff. Can't say enough about any of those guys, honestly.
100%. Yeah, I mean, Will's probably for sure first and biggest reason why I've always wanted to invest in DG.
Yeah.
Because he had so much of it. It's like,
Yeah,
what
he
the?
does.
And I'm like, nobody has this much. Like, what is going on? Like,
It's insane.
He's just like a little fucking. He has like a little like goddamn little mini village of DG stuff that nobody could get their hands on. You know what I mean?
He's seen it before anyone else did. That's the thing. He knew it was going to be huge.
I'm telling you. And like, that's why it's like when you're really on your shit in this game, like, if you have the eye and you have the passion and timing, like the one thing about Will is like the guy's not in a rush to do anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's probably fucking seen shit that knew what was going to be big now and just kept his mouth shut and just waited and waited and waited. And now he's still like underspoken, like, Will's still like a chill guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, agreed.
And Will's not even came close to where I feel like he's going to peak at, you know what I mean? Like, he's still like mini dog compared to where I know where his career is going to be at some point. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very excited for him, but let me ask you this. You're in South Ontario, right?
Yep.
So your guys' weather, it gets cold as shit up there for sure, right?
Yeah, it gets cold. Not like northern Canada, but
Okay. Have you ever had to run into any like nightmares with like either your electricity shutting down, or have you ever had any incubation failures where like you had to learn a hard lesson or anything like that you could share to a lot of newcomers that may be listening right now?
yeah, so the power goes off here and there in the winter. It's not too much of a big deal. The lowest the room's ever gotten was like 65 Fahrenheit. So it's not make or break. Luckily, it doesn't get too cold down here. The real problem is the summer when it gets hot.
Okay.
I have to keep my rooms cool with a extra AC. Otherwise, it gets too hot. I had my AC fail while I had a incubator full of eggs, and it got to 95, and I about panicked. But luckily, everything was fine. They were okay.
Let me ask you this, Nicole. I mean, do you run primarily heat tape for every single snake? Like every rack has its own heat rack, or are you ambient heating for the most part? What do you do with your heat?
I climate control the room, and I give them hotspots.
Okay. So what do you keep your ambient at?
In the winter, I keep it around 75, 74.
Consistently?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are your hot spots? Like, let's talk about your hatchlings right now. So for all your grow ups and your hatchlings, the smaller snakes, where do you keep their heat at? Where do you keep their hot spot at?
Small stuff, I like to keep it around 88.
Okay. And then moving up, like let's say like your sub adults and your adults, what do you keep them at?
I'm comfortable with them anywhere between like 83 and 85.
83, 85. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you kind of eliminate that 88 hot spot to a few degrees lower as they get bigger, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because from my experience, one thing, like I've been taught too many bad habits from the get-go, and that's kind of like something where I kind of maybe should have dug a little bit more of my information. But like, for instance, like I felt like I was feeding way too much. Like I overfed my ball pythons only because I thought you were supposed to do that. Like I thought if a
Right.
ball python wants to eat, just fucking feed it. You know what I mean? And there's a case by case by that. You know what I mean? Big time.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that lesson really quickly. But I adjusted that quick, right? Then another one that I felt like that was kind of like not really a myth, but just like it really depends where you're at, really. But demographically, where I'm at, there's no point of me having a 90 degree, 80 degree, 88 degree hot spot for every single snake in my room, only because my ambient, like it's naturally 80 degrees, 77 to 80 degrees outside almost all the time where I live. You know what I mean?
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, don't get me wrong. We'll go in the low 70s sometimes, but like I could get away with so much where I'm at, where I just don't need to run
Right.
individual heat tape for everything. Now I can tell you what has heat or has heat if I need to turn it up, or snakes that I'm breeding. You know, like if there's an ovulation or something like that. But what makes me crazy is like, you know who Mark Bailey is, right?
Yeah. I just got a snake from him a couple days ago.
Hell yeah. Mark Bailey's an OG, super OG. I need to get in touch with him. But Mark Bailey doesn't even run heat like at all at night.
Yeah.
That's
I can
crazy.
believe
Like,
it.
but even for his grab, here's the thing. I convinced myself that not everything needs heat 24/7 as far as like a hot spot. Like I feel like especially the hatchlings. I keep my hatchlings at 80 to 84 degrees. That's it. Like all like and like night and day. Like if it's nighttime, it's no lower than 80 degrees. Daytime, it gets to like 84. And I keep that with their 80 ambient, all that. That's what I keep them at, right? But shit, where was I going at? What was I talking before?
Nighttime drop.
Damn it. Nighttime drop. Oh, yes. Okay. So I was convinced about the whole like not having that kind of 24/7 hotspot for that, right? But then I was like, well, for sure, if a snake's ovulated and if she has snakes, you're gonna always want to keep at least a warm spot of 85 to 88, like keep that there for him. But even with his snakes that are gravid, he doesn't have heat at night. And I was like, that's fucking nuts.
Interesting.
It is interesting. And you know, even my boy Socrates, who breeds chondros, he does the exact same thing. He only gives them heat during the daytime. Even for a gravid snake, he does not give them heat at night.
Well, you have to think how it is in the wild. I always,
Right.
whenever I'm not sure, I think I Google, you know, what are the average temperatures? What are the rainy seasons like? You just got to try to learn from what they're meant to be in, you know? So I could see that definitely.
And the reason why I'm kind of like not really stressing this, but like kind of like making this a damn topic is because a lot of people get into this without the experience of knowing how to control a thermostat or knowing how to look for like problems with heat tape, where they'll get a rack just like just like what you have. They'll like within the first month, they'll get a rack, they get everything going, but then just don't know how to run certain shit. And like running all that kind of heat could be dangerous. Like that could, like, if you don't know what you're doing, or like you don't smell something burning, like if you don't know how to look for those indicators, you could fucking lose a room very easily. And I could tell you, Nicole, how many times I fucking almost stopped fires. When I used to run heat on everything, I would just like, there was always a problem somewhere. Like I always felt like something was not, like a thermostat wasn't turning on. Like there was always something. And I felt like that was like really fucking up my game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It is terrifying, you know, and dude, you hear shit on the news all the time. This guy down in El Cajon, which is literally down the street from me, he lost his garage. I guess he had a garage full of snakes, full of lizards, and he ran a bunch of like heat bulbs, like everything had bulbs, and fucking the whole fucking place caught on fire. I think he lost like pretty much all his animals. But anyways, because of that, and just because how, like, you know, I feel like unnecessary stuff is, you should look for stuff that you're doing that's unnecessary that could really cause some serious damage for you down the road. But like, dude, I do what works for me. You got to understand that too. You know what I mean? I'm in San Diego. You're in Southern Ontario. It's it's really case by case where you're at. But like, I try to preach to all my friends and homies that live where I'm at. And I'm like, dude, don't fucking run heat tape for everything, especially during the summertime and like stuff like that. Like, I don't even, dude, everything's cut off heat during the summertime here because it's already 80 to 90, like all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. Like I hate, nothing hurts more, Nicole, when I hear somebody post a fire or fucking like, you know, an accident that, you know, obviously some of it's unavoidable, but like if you look around and cut out the risk around you, then you don't, you know, you're putting yourself in a better position. Does that make
No,
sense?
I agree. No, I agree. That's honestly my biggest fear is a fire, and I have connections upon connections just everywhere, and it's like the more connections you have, the more chance of something going wrong.
Like Foster scared the living shit out of me. I had him
Yeah.
on. Foster, I had Foster on because in the trap where I have all the bigger snakes, I have my washer and dryer like in the hatchling room,
Oh
right
no.
attached, right? So Foster told me how he almost had a fucking goddamn fire because his dryer fucking caught on fire. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. But I was like, wait a minute, did you clear the lint stuff? Like, are you sure it wasn't lint backup or something like that? And like, I don't know. But still, like, you don't ever know. Like
Right?
like something like that shit could happen. So I can tell you right now, man, like, it's freak. You can't, there's certain things you just can't control, you know? So I mean, I'm
Hmm.
just kind of like a freak about that. Like, I'm always looking for accident prone shit, like, you know what I mean? Just because I hate to say it, but it's gonna happen sooner or later where like you forget to do something or something slips up and boom, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
be honest, how many snakes have you lost?
Like just up and died or
Oh, no. Like MIAs. Have you ever had any MIAs?
oh, yeah, like a handful.
Yeah. This shit
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
It sucks too. And really, like, out of all the species I've kept, when a ball python escapes, I don't really lose my mind about that. Like, for the most part, you're always gonna find a ball python, you know, but like a more slender snake, like a green tree python or like
Oh yeah.
like a boega. Like I have 3 MIAs on my 4 years of keeping reptiles, like 3 that actually never came back. Well, 2 actually found, they were dead, but one
Oh
that just
no.
one that just I never found again, and it was a boega that was like
Ah,
it was like this skinny. And I was sad too, you know. It sucked, you
yeah.
know, because I mean, at the end of the day, I designed that room so nothing could get out, and I didn't, you know, it probably didn't get out. I just died somewhere where I couldn't find it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, ball pythons, I've never had one not come back. They're easy to find. They're usually pretty close by.
Right. I've never had a ball python dip out and never come back. I've had
Hmm.
them escape, but I've never had them like never come back.
Yeah,
I've
you
always
always find them.
actually my longest runaway, which was my pastel Mojave orange ghost, dude, 9 months.
Whoa.
9 months, and I
What was he
found her.
eating?
I don't know, but she did obviously looked skinny, but she was fine. Like she
That's
was like,
awesome.
yeah, she ended up. It was during a time in my life where I was like, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but like I remember I lost like I had 4 ball pythons, all 4 got out, and
Oh no.
I found 3 out of the 4, and I was very convinced that that 4th one, which was Mercedes, was gone. And I remember a few months later, I move and I have like a dresser, it was like you know, like one of those like entertainment centers that have drawers, like in like
Yeah.
and there's like the hole for the wires where you could put like your.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I remember I was carrying it and I dropped it and I like sat on my bed and all you see is a head poke out of that hole, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I was like,
Oh my god. I couldn't
is it a
imagine.
lot? I could have. I was like, probably, I was the happiest fucking grown man on earth that day, dude. I could tell you right now.
Damn. What a trooper.
I couldn't believe it. And dude, yeah, that snake's laying fucking 11 plus 8 clutches for me, like
Nice.
killing it. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how ball pythons are tanks and they can put up with a lot.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Do you work with anything else other than ball pythons?
Yeah, I have a pair of Bredli carpet pythons. I have a green tree
Ooh.
female, Biac,
Whoa. All right.
and I've got a false water cobra female as well.
All right. You checked everything right now. So let's see the brittles. So let's talk about that. How big are they?
I have the female. They're both fully grown. The female I've had for 8 or 9 years, so she's big. She's really big. Probably 10 feet, if not more. And my male, he's just your average adult male.
Are you gonna breed them, or what's your game plan with them?
Yeah, I've let them have their fun, but I admittedly don't have the proper setup. I know you have to get them real cold, and that is definitely something I would like to do once I get into the new place and I have room for an extra like 30 to 50 babies.
Right.
So they have a lot of eggs.
Do you know who Patrick Holmes is?
Oh, the name is familiar.
You should check him out. He breeds brittles. He breeds chondros. He's a very dreamy individual, but he's really good at that stuff. And your chondro, you said you have one chondro, right?
Yes, I just have a female right now.
Did she bite? Or can you show her off? Where's she at?
I can. It might take me a second to get her out of her cage, though.
I got time. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'll be right back.
That's for you, Adrian. She's pulling out a chondro. That's for you, my man. Here we go. I love it, dude. I mean, I'm running into more Canadians who happen to be working with more species other than ball python breeders, other ball pythons than like Americans. Facts. Canada is on fire. The homie June works with a bunch of sick ass shit. Oh man. And then you have, yeah, dude, this is sick. Good call, Will. Oh yeah, even Will works with different stuff. He doesn't breed other stuff yet, but Will works with tree monitors. Very player. Look, oh my God, look who pops up. Aaron, where you been, fool? I haven't talked to this guy in forever. And then the one person who mentions false water cobras, this fool pops up in the building. What is good? The homie Aaron Solano. All right, let's peep this out. What do we got?
There, I did the easy part, the easy thing, and just
yeah. Oh wow, she's big. All right, I'm gonna give you the screen. This is all you. Just go and show her off and kind of give us a little background on her if you don't mind.
All right, let's turn her over. So she's pretty chill. So I got her, I want to say 2018 CRBE. She's Biac. I might breed them one day. I'm not sure, but I've always wanted a green tree, so.
She's gorgeous. How long have you had her for?
I got her in 2018.
Okay, so 2018.
3 years. She was 2 when I got her.
Okay, so and was she already like in her OCC stage, like meaning like was she changing her color or was she already green by then?
She was she was already green.
Okay, and she kept that yellow on her nose right there.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a male?
Envy. I don't have a male.
Okay, cool. So she's a 2018. Yeah, so she's around that time. I mean, she looks.
Well, she was 2 when I got her, so she was already an adult.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Okay, so she's definitely ready.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she has a great disposition. Look at that.
Oh, she's great. She bit me at the expo when I was looking at her, and that's usually when I'm like, okay, yeah, you can come home. If a snake bites me, that's pretty much.
Dude, and right here, like, okay, I could tell you right now, what's happening with your chondro is what made me so obsessed with them, because I got fear instilled in me that like chondros were the devil, like they like, you know, you're gonna get bit, blah blah blah, which is true. Don't get me wrong, but as soon as my Biac calmed down and I started handling her like how you're handling, and that's Mimi. I'm talking about her right there. She, dude, I was obsessed having her over my neck, having her go all over my head. Just super chill. I was like, they're not the devil. Like people are tripping. And honestly, that's my favorite species right there. That's the champ. Green tree pythons. That's the champ. Oh, amazing stuff. You can put her back now. Thank you, Nicole.
No problem. I'll be right back.
That was sick. That was sick. Super sick. Love Biacs. Strong female to have. If you're gonna have any females in your collection, got to have Biac. I can tell you right now that you want that strong bloodline in any of your hatchlings. That way you don't have to worry about getting something that's going to break your fucking heart day by day. But what's good? Saturday, I want to do a dab. I want to smoke. Let's smoke. We're going to smoke. I'm going to ask her a question, but we're going to smoke too. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego. It's about 68 degrees. I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is. I'm just talking out of my ass. But yeah, cheers to everyone. If you smoke, I hope you can smoke with me. Foster, let's go. I know Foster's in the building. Light it up, Foster. This is for the grown men right here and grown women, of course. Cheers to the homie Matt. And here she goes. She's coming back.
All right.
There she is.
I'm back.
That was very player, Nicole. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So let me ask you, what's your biggest inspiration behind a green tree python? Was that like a impulse buy? Were you like doing research and like waiting to get your chondro? Tell us like a little bit behind the chondros.
I've just always been a huge fan. With any more really, I just love them all. but they just require more space. If I had more space, I'd have way more. But green trees specifically, I just always been fascinated with them. They're gorgeous, just display animals. So I saw her at an expo. She was captive raised, 2 years old, $800. I was like, let's do it. I'm so glad I did it.
Captive raised, like meaning somebody bred her in Canada.
I don't know if she's captive bred, but she was in captivity for the 2 years that she's been here at least. I'm not sure if she was captive bred, but
Got
at
it.
that point, they're healthy. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is 2018. You said 2018
Yeah.
when you bought it.
yeah,
I don't know how. I can't remember how it was back in 2018. I think I do. It was very, like I got a lot of my females, a lot of stuff that I have now was acquired in 2018, 2017. But a lot of
Okay.
it was farm raised. Like a lot of that shit, was coming from Indonesia,
Mhm.
really coming in solid. You know what I mean? And I could tell you, anytime I did come up on a United States captive born and bred female, it was real easy to track who the breeder was. And that's the reason why I like chondros, right? Because, like, for instance, let's say I sell you a green tree python and I say to you, Nicole, this was bred in the United States. And you could simply say, well, who bred it? It's that easy for somebody to drop a name where that name is easily referred on social media, to where, like, nowadays you can't really get away with like trying to sell something that's US CBB or bred in captivity and not being
Yeah.
able to track it. So what I'm trying to say is, if I'm trying to sell you something and I'm like, hey, this is United States captive born and bred, and I can't show you proof, it's not United States captive born and bred. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At
I
the
can
end of the
see
day,
that.
it's not. You know what I mean? Because anybody, and that snake wouldn't be $500, $350. Like the prices they are at the shows here. Like here at the shows, you see CBB, Biac. It will even be labeled a female, and it's like yellow still, and it's like, how do you even know? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't
So,
even want to touch that.
yeah. So one thing I love about my Patreon page is like everyone, like before anyone purchased chondros, like we all like come to we all like give it a pass. You know what I mean? Or we'll simply be like, hey, has anybody heard of this person? And somebody will say, yep, that person's legit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, you want to know who you're buying from, and
Oh yeah.
there's so many credible chondro breeders in the United States that put in so much work to where it's like you want to make sure you're buying something from the right person. You know what I mean?
Especially something like a green tree. Those things are,
Oh yeah.
if they're not right, they're not right, and you pay the
I mean,
price.
a lot of things could happen with green trees as is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you don't want to have to like deal with something that is sketchy, and
Mhm.
the big heartbreak thing is, and God bless you once you come to this stage in your life with green trees, but the raising and keeping is so easy. Once you have them dialed in, it's they're easier than ball pythons. Like it's
Yeah,
super
she's
simple.
chill. She just feed her, do your
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, like I mean, there's times like most of the times I don't even need to touch my chondro. I could do whatever I need to do, and they're just there.
Same.
Like they're
Yep.
like in a corner, and I'm just like, thanks. A fucking ball python, I have to pick it up. Some of them smear their face and shit, which I actually
Yeah.
I've had chondros do that too, no cap. But I'm just saying, like for the most part, like I blow through my fucking chores in this room. This is my chondro and emerald room. I blow through chores in this room compared to that room, the trap. You know what I mean? So.
Mhm.
But yeah, like what I was saying is like the keeping and raising is the easy part. Like where you run into heartache and like fucking failure is when it comes to breeding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But what I was saying to people right now, the one female you do want in your fucking collection is a Biac. The Biac is the strongest locality out of all the green tree pythons. They're like the soldier. It's like they're the most aggressive, the most food hungry. Like they give you like the most biggest clutches from what I've heard. You know what I mean? Like they're just like the burly out of all the green tree pythons. So you do have something strong that
Yeah.
you've
I love
been
her.
raising up.
She's been great. I'd love to breed her one day. Definitely.
What have you been doing research wise to like gain more knowledge on the whole breeding side, or have you even done any of that yet?
No, I haven't touched it yet. I'm probably gonna do the carpets first and then work my way up to the green tree. I probably end up buying, if I do, maybe just another Neo, and if it turns out to be a male, then great, and I'll go from there.
So do you plan on buying from another show? Where do you plan on buying from again?
No idea. I'll do my research. I'll find a good breeder most likely and go from there.
I know people. Let me know, okay? Like
All right.
I know the people. Like some because Nicole, I feel like you need something fire for that female. You need something heavy. You need
Will
like
they export?
I think I don't know how Canada. I mean, I know an exporter. Like if I know if I could get my snake, if I could get my ball python to Canada, I should be able to get a green tree to Canada, right?
Yeah, you think? I think they're
Right. Dude,
on
who's
the same list.
for the Canada? You guys are all plugged up. Like it's easy. I know for sure if I want one of Khalil snakes, I could get one of Khalil snakes.
Oh yeah,
So, I
it's
mean,
easy.
but I just don't. Is it the same way if like from me going like from America going to America to Canada? Is it like the same laws? Like,
I
or
think
is
so.
it,
It's
is it
pretty much
harder?
the same. Yeah, I just pay my exporter to do all that.
Oh, cool. So we can
You
make it
know?
happen. Cool.
Awesome.
I'm gonna introduce you to Socrates.
Nice.
Do you know who Socrates is?
Again, I've heard it, but
Oh man, I'm gonna hook you up. After this, just check your DM. I'm gonna be plugging you all these accounts. Okay.
awesome. Sounds good.
And I know you're busy, but once you finally lay down in bed and you look at your phone, you're gonna look at these accounts and you're gonna start. You're really not gonna sleep.
Oh man.
Sorry. Okay. So let me ask you. Let's talk about the other species. So carpets and whatnot. Like at the end of the day, like let's say you are a niche for it. Like let's say like things are working out for you. What's your game plan with it? Like, are you trying to create a market for it? Are you going to want to implement it with your ball python projects and like literally market yourself as a carpet breeder? Or is that kind of like a passion project?
I think it's more of a passion project. I really like having a diverse collection right now, mostly ball python, but once again, I get the space. I do like my clubrids. I would like to get a couple more of those. And just kind of have a nice variety, just for the fun of it, you know, and probably stick with the ball pythons in terms of the genetic diversity of those, and keep everything else pure, if that makes sense.
I mean, the ball pythons are just so like, I mean, they're just there to make you happy.
Yeah, that gets my genetic brain going. I've always been like heavily into genetics. That's probably why I've always bred everything. So that takes care of that.
Like the whole ball python thing creates all the stress off me to even care if I breed green trees or not. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. Like I would love to breed green tree breeders, but if just nothing ever happens, then it is what it is. I have a bunch of sick green tree pythons. Like I don't rely on them for anything, but to just make me feel good.
Yeah. Just have fun with them. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
You know what I mean? And I can tell you right now, I love showing people this room, like, because this is like, you know, everything has plants in it. Like this is like something I really put work into it. You know, I put work in the trap too, but for the most part, 90% of the shit in there is on paper. So it's like,
yeah,
nothing really appealing unless you're a breeder like me. You know what I mean? But we, you know, my friends and stuff like that, I love bringing them into this room. They love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to talk more about the way you keep your chondro. What kind of setup do you have it in? Like, do you have it on substrate? Is it on paper? Let's talk a little bit about your chondro setup.
So I have her in a 2-foot cube PVC enclosure with
Cool.
just a radiant heat panel for her heat.
Nice.
I keep her heat maybe maximum 83-ish at the top, and I have about 4 different branches, different thickness, just scattered throughout different heights of the enclosure, and she seems to really prefer one little corner during the day. Then at night I'll see her cruising around. I keep her on cocoa like all of my ball pythons, and I just dump her water every week, rustle it up, and that's about it.
And sheds are good? You have complete sheds, or do you sometimes have to soak and take some stuck shed off? How are your sheds?
Sometimes her sheds aren't perfect. I have to be on her. Like when I see that she's in blue, and sometimes I miss it, right? It can be hard to see that they're in blue. But when I see it, I'll just dump her water a couple extra times. I'll give her a little spritz, and it's perfect as long as I catch it.
Nice. Yeah. And then as far as like your diet, like what are you feeding your chondro?
I feed her like a rat pup every 2 or 3 weeks. I don't feed her a lot.
Every 2-3 weeks, a rat pup?
Yep.
You could beef it up a bit.
I know. I'm sure I could. I'm nervous with those, man. You always hear, don't overfeed them.
No, I mean, chondros could hold it down. You know, even an emerald, like the whole thing. I mean, you don't want an overweight chondro, right?
Yeah.
And people like feed their fucking chondros medium rats and shit like that. And like,
I couldn't imagine giving her one of those.
You're not going to ever get a snake to breed a healthy clutch if you're feeding chondro like a medium rat. I mean, like medium rats every like 3 weeks. Like some people spread it out. You know what I mean? Do it right. You know, but I mean, it really depends on how you want to run your shit. But I remember what I was doing wrong with chondros as I was feeding them the way I was feeding my ball pythons in the beginning. And
Yeah.
that was like a big no. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
luckily they were young enough to where I was able to catch it and like stop it. But like,
Mhm.
again, like the whole feeding thing is so important, you know, especially with chondros, like very important. You can get away with a lot of obesity type shit with the ball python, but you can't get away with that with an arboreal snake, I feel like.
Right.
Which leads to me to the next species you work with, the colubrid, man. Like I love
Mhm.
false water cobras. I have a pair of really nice super hypo of false water cobras. But let's
Oh,
talk about
nice.
your falsie. Where it's a female, right?
Yeah, I have a female. She's about 8 or 9 years old. So
Oh, nice. So she's big.
she's massive. Yeah, she's huge.
Ooh,
I love
that's
her.
sick. Hell yeah. And where'd she come from?
She came from a breeder up here, Ashley. She does northern imports, some Northern Lights imports or something like that. She
Nice.
does a lot of European imports and exports. But yeah, she used to breed falsies back in the day, and that's where I got my original one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dude, false water cobras, man. Those things are intense. I mean,
Oh, it's such a rewarding species to keep.
yeah, because they're like, I mean, oh, what happened? You there? Okay, cool.
I'm here. I can hear you. You just
Yeah. Sorry, flickered
there we
out
go.
real quick.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, false water cobras are just a different species, man. And I mean,
Totally.
I'm breeding them right now, and you should see how intense that is. Like I walk in
Damn.
and I hear slamming, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like the male just chasing the female, but they're like into it, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like, oh man,
Yeah.
I think last year, from what I was told, shout out to the homie Shane Woldridge. Do you follow Shane Woldridge?
I do not.
Everstate Green Exotics. I hope I said that
Okay.
right, bro. I'm so sorry. That's another person I'll hook you up. But he fucking
Okay.
breeds. He breeds false water cobras. And he's really good at it. And it took me a while to find somebody who was good at breeding false water cobras. And Shane's the man. So I'll hook you up with Shane too after this. And yeah, I think it's. So what's your game plan? Do you want to get a male, or is she just like a passion, like pet?
Right
snake?
now, she's just a pet. Just, you know, it
you
would
would
be
need
really interesting to breed them.
You
That's
would
for
need
sure.
you would need a big male for that female. Otherwise, she's gonna eat the shit out of it.
Yeah, I feed her my ball pythons that don't make it, so she likes her snakes. So I definitely have to get her a good sized male if I do that.
I just had my very first ball python that didn't make it, like meaning like I hatched it out of the egg.
Yeah.
I had to assist feed it and it just died. Like it just didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, what do I feed this to? You know, because I have multiple things that could eat it, but should I toss it to my monitors and let them like just fucking just tear it up? And like, you know, obviously you're gonna vlog it, right? Or should I toss it to one of the falsies and see how quick one of the falsies could take it down? Because Miguel swears his indigo is the fastest eating snake out there. I think my falsie could put that fucking indigo to the test.
Probably falsies are something else when they
Dude,
eat.
I'm telling you. I mean, indigos are animals too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm literally an animal, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I would like to see a comparison or a fucking stopwatch or something like same meal, same time, side by side, and see what goes down.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had them eat their own shed by accident.
Oh my
like-
god, that's funny.
Like I've had where I had rats on forceps.
Yep.
They missed and grabbed their shed and just started eating.
And they just start
shed.
eating it.
And I was like, what do you? And I had I started ripping it, but they still swallowed a good amount of it. And I was like, dude, what is gonna happen? But nothing. I guess they eat their own skin and it's fine. It's just fucking weird. Weirdos, dude. They're weird.
Yeah,
snakes.
they'll eat anything. Like you got to be careful too. You can't eat like a big glorious meaty dinner and then go handle a falsie.
No,
you're gonna get bit.
So check this out. I got done feeding, right? And of course, I was gonna false water had shit in its water bowl, like it looked really nasty. So
Yeah.
I was moving too fast, so I just picked it up and I had it over here. And you know how they'll go down right away and dip up, they'll kind of do like a U-turn and come up. It basically came back up and saw my thumb and swallowed my thumb.
Oh no.
And it was trying to chomp forward but couldn't go forward. So then it started going backwards, but then the fangs were getting stuck in my hand.
No.
So I basically had to rip my thumb out of its mouth. And I posted, there's actually a video on, I think it happened over a year ago, but I posted the video. Dude, my whole hand was just bloody, oh, my thumb got swollen. I was concerned because I thought it maybe envenened me. I thought what's gonna happen? I heard different reaction, but I was fine and nothing
That's good.
I took that stripe. You know what I mean? Which,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I was excited when you told me you got bit by your green tree python right then and there at the show, because like that's something that's like it's not that big of a deal. Like, I mean, it could hurt, but like at the end of the day, like bites aren't shit, like
I felt like it was a milestone. My first, chondro bite. Yeah, I'm in the club, That's how I take it.
it's a solid stripe, like
Yeah.
my wife is refusing to get bit, even though she's like curious, but she does everything in her power not to get bit. Like that's her goal.
It'll happen one day.
Yeah, I can't wait, because when
Right.
she's gonna be like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal, but like in her head, it's like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
I've shared this story before, but I had a chondro escape, and it was gone for 2 months, dude. And I'm at Brian Cusco's house about to do an interview with Levance from Straight Fire, and literally as like the intro's playing, or right before I'm about to go live, she calls me, FaceTime me, and my wife never FaceTimes me like we FaceTime, but it's rare, and she knew I was about to go live. So the fact she was FaceTiming, I was like, I have to answer this.
Yeah.
So I answered it, and sure enough, there's the chondro in her bedroom, like
Oh my God.
just like snapping at her, and she's like crying, like she's like,
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what to do. I was like, listen, I was like, you need to grab that snake. I was like, I'm sorry, you're gonna get bit, you're gonna be fine. I was like, that's a fucking $1,200 snake. I was like, I really need this snake. I was like, this is an important snake. I was like, it's a numbered locality, we need this. And she's like losing her mind, and I'm like, I have to go live. I was like, sorry. I was like, go grab a lid. And luckily she grabbed like a lid and was able to like suture it on and get it in the cage. Oh, bless my wife's heart, man. But
good for her.
I named
That's
that snake
awesome.
Houdini. I named that snake Houdini, and it's still here. That snake is fucking with me now. Thank God.
Nice.
That's awesome. So, okay, let me ask you this. With your ball pythons right now, you said 20 to 30 clutch, or where are you at right now clutches wise? I'm sorry, remind me. We there? Check.
Yeah.
Check.
20 to 30 clutches average.
Okay. So what's your ultimate game plan for the years moving forward? Like next year, what are you trying to hit?
My goal right now is to average around 50. I'd like to stick around there. I think that's about maximum. I'd like for me to just keep my same standards, you know what I mean, of care.
Now, do you know off the top of your head how many first-time females you have going into 2022?
Quite a bit. A lot of my 2020 holdback females have made it to size, so I'm not expecting a lot of them to go, but I'm going to try anyway. So probably close to half of what I'm breeding is going to be first-timers.
Dude,
for next year.
You're telling me snakes that were born 2 years ago are ready to go?
Yeah, I have a lot of 2020s that are over 1,500, and some even have follicles right now, so why not?
Dude, this isn't the first time me hearing this. Why are all my females taking 3 years to get that big?
It happens sometimes. I have a female that I held back 8 years ago that gave me her first clutch 2021. So,
but I've not had one snake be ready in 2 years ever.
You know what? I breed my rats, and people call them crack rats. So maybe it has something to do with that.
And you breed weekly, right? I mean, you feed weekly, right?
During this season, I do. In the off season, I feed bi-weekly.
Okay. And then do you keep it on the smaller side with your ball pythons too? Or how do you,
Yeah, I feed my adult females weans. Sometimes they'll get a small. Just depends if I wait an extra week for the rats to grow,
Okay. So the biggest rat you offer, or your biggest snake, is what?
Normally a wean, too small. Sometimes I have some females that'll take a retired breeder, so I'll give them one of those once I have them, and then I won't feed them for another few weeks at least after that.
But a retired breeder is like a jumbo.
Yeah, I have a couple females that'll take it, no problem.
So that's crazy. So, but then other than that, that female will be on a wean or a small rat.
Yep.
So it's a rare occasion. It's like here, like even though it could take it, it doesn't happen quite often. It's something that's like.
I keep them ideally a weaned at the biggest.
And they're still getting that big that quick.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know. It's definitely happened a lot more this year than I've noticed than any other year. I don't know what it was about this season. They just grew really quickly.
Dang.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, and then let me ask you this. I mean, do you normally wait for your snake to have a bowel movement before you offer it a meal, or do you just keep going?
Oh no, I don't keep track of that. I just keep going.
Okay. I mean, some people keep track of that with the chondro. I mean, a lot of people do with the chondros and stuff
Yeah, I
like
could
that,
see
right? Because
that.
that matters. But I was just curious if anybody does that with the ball pythons. And the reason why I feel like with the younger ones or like the subadults, I feel like when you get them backed up too much, I feel like, and this is like obviously coming from somebody who does not feed wean rats to smalls. It's more like smalls to mediums. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I feel like having that bigger meal and giving it too often kind of creates it to where the snake maybe won't want to eat as much, you know?
Yeah,
And that's
definitely.
and that's why a snake will run into that wall or whatever the fuck they call that 1,000-gram wall or
Yeah,
something where
exactly.
they hit that point where they just don't want to do shit no more. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. So I find if you feed them smaller meals a little bit less often, they still grow just as well. They shit less. It's a win-win. And
Yeah.
they usually skip over that. I still get that 1,000-gram wall. It happens, but for the most part, they're usually pretty consistent.
Dude, I'm such a fat ass. You don't want to know what it is? Like, I just like it. Just satisfies me to see it eat something big. Like, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
kind of, it's almost like me eating, even though it's not. Like, like I remember I saw somebody feeding because false water cobras. Some people feed them on the light tip. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember I saw somebody feeding a false water cobra, like an 8-foot false water cobra, like a hopper mice, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And at the end of the day, like false water cobras, they don't really need much. They're very slender, but they're also big. But
Yeah. So you
what do you
feed
got?
them they like basically more often and smaller meals for them. This is
Right.
my 2020 holdback. You see how
Oh
big
my.
she is.
Okay, what month in 2020? Like
Uh,
January?
July, probably, maybe June.
Mid?
Yeah. And she's
What the?
huge. I got a few like her.
What is that?
Blackhead Mojave and she leopard pied. I'm pretty
Damn,
positive.
that's fucking power right there,
Oh
bro.
yeah. She's going to a blackhead pied. Want some supers.
So super blackheads. Dang, you're killing it.
So hopefully she goes for me.
So let's talk about your rat production real quick. So you breed your own
Mhm.
rats. That's a fucking hustle. That's not easy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. That's
I'd never
probably,
not breed rats. It's a lifesaver.
yeah. I mean, obviously because you rely on your own production, you never have to worry about anyone skimping you because you got your own shit going on, basically,
Hmm.
right? So how are you keeping up with the rats? Like, is anyone helping you with that, or is that just are you just solo dolo on all this stuff?
So for the most part, I am solo, but when it comes to the rats, my boyfriend does feed and water them for me, and he works a split shift. So when we happen to be home at the same time, he'll help me clean too. So I do have some help with the rats,
And
luckily.
do you provide rats to anybody else in your area? Like, do you sell rats on the side, or are you just everything on your own?
Not consistently. If my freezer's full, I'll let some go. But for the most part, I like to hoard my rats because you never know.
What kind of diet do you have your rats on?
Purina, rat chow. They're just like the regular lab lock, kind of like Missouri, same kind of thing. And then I
Right.
feed them all my veggie scraps. I eat a lot of vegetables, so any scraps just go right to them.
And then how many colony like what how many like rat colonies do you have going on right now? Like how do you work it?
So I do 5 females to a male in like the cement tubs.
Okay.
I have room for 16 of those colonies, but I really only use 10 at a time right now. And then I have maternity bins where I keep 2 females per bin to take care of their litters.
And the fact that you feed weans to like smalls, you're always constantly just going through them. So it's like
Yep.
smart.
Yeah. And then during
Real
the
smart.
winter, I freeze pups to prepare for the babies coming in the summer. So it all works out.
Okay. So your babies, your hatchlings, like let's talk about like what are what's your feeding regimen with them? Like what's the first thing you offer a hatchling?
Live rat pup, always. First thing I offer.
Okay, so you don't even do the hopper. You go straight to a live rat pup.
Yeah, I don't do mice or anything. I have a small colony of African soft furs, just in case.
In case. Okay.
But for the most part, I'd say 99% take a rat pup, no problem first.
What do you consider a rat pup? Is that something with the fur, or is it still kind of like a fuzzy pinky type? Like how big's your rat pup in your? Because some people rat pup
Yeah,
ranges. So I'm just curious, what's a rat pup to you?
they're good size. They're above a fuzzy. They're crawling around at that point. They've got all their fur.
Or is the
Um,
eyes open?
Uh, Maybe just before they start opening them.
Okay, so it's right
Yeah.
before that moment before they open their eyes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it's a
Okay.
good size for a ball python, but they take it and they just do really well on them, I find.
That's what it is, dude. It's the fucking rats.
Yeah,
You're
it
starting
is.
rat right off the bat. And
Yeah.
that's like creating a stomach where it's like fucking dude. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, you should.
I just been doing hoppers because it's so easy. Like I don't like it's such a like 9 out of 10 thing. Like it's like, but then again, I've never done I've never gone straight to rats, like I don't know. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
always
try it
felt like
out. You never know.
yeah, I'm gonna fucking for sure try it out. And I'm just curious on how that would yeah, why not? Fuck it. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
that out.
Just try things until you find something works for you. That's all I do. Like I always try different things,
And
and
you go
change things around.
and you obviously go live, right? Like right or
At first, yeah, I feed them 3 lives, and then I switch them to frozen after that.
okay. And then AAB right here has a question as far as how you euthanize your rodents. How do you put them down?
I use a CO2 chamber for sure. It's just easier that way.
And there's plenty of YouTube videos out there on how to create a chamber and whatnot. It obviously is definitely the most humane way because they go to sleep forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to tell you the way I used to do it. It's not good.
Oh yeah, me too.
Not good for your mental state. It's really bad.
That's why I was like, I was a bit overwhelmed at first about how to do the whole CO2 thing, but I had a buddy help me, and it's actually super simple. So if anyone out there is feeling the same way, just do it. It was the best thing I've ever done, honestly.
It's so and we'll talk about just easy peasy and just like
throw them in it, turn the knob up, and just wait a few minutes, and that's it.
Feeling better about yourself for sure.
Oh,
I mean, I can tell you right now, the fucking hugest reason why I stopped breeding rats is because I got tired of killing them, and I was like, I just can't do this no more. And and then I just for right now, thank God, I have a consistent plug. But I could once I move, I was telling you, once I move, I'll probably will be looking into just breeding my own rats, just because I don't want to have to worry about anything no more as far as who to rely on. I do get shout out to the sponsor. I do get frozen thawed rodents in, but like I primarily like to feed everything live just due to timing and stuff like that. And they, it's a smoother process. You know what I mean? So
yeah, agreed, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, so what do you let me ask you this. What do you recommend somebody, because, like I said, people get really excited when coming into this. They want to do things right away, but I feel like people overproduce rodents sometimes, or they get themselves in a position where you're doing too much too quick, right? So what do you recommend for somebody who's looking to get started producing rodents, but then only have like 10 or 15 snakes? Like how would you recommend someone slowly getting started into breeding rodents?
Well, keep your colonies small first off. You don't need a lot. I'd say 2 breeder females per snake that you have will be good to start off. If you're producing extra, freeze, a few months supply, because you just never know if anything's going to happen. And then I would try to find someone local or a pet store just to sell here and there. That's what I did anyway. So I have a few friends that if I ever have extras, I just text my friends, hey, you need some frozen rats? Usually most people are up for it, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have a wrap-up question for you before we get into the hot seat questions, okay? Because Nicole, as sweet as you are, I have to put you through the hot seat questions, okay? Everyone has to go through.
Oh, man, okay.
But my question for you is, God, my dog's barking and my brain's scattered. Okay, my question for you, God damn it, now what was my question? Oh my God, this happens at least once or twice a time. Okay, I got it. Yeah, okay, no, I got it. Okay. So my question to you is, there's people out there who get ahead of the game pretty quickly. Within the first 2 years or so, they start producing some sick snakes, right? And they put a lot of expectations behind a really nice snake, right? Like, let's just say a high-end clown combo or something, right? Thinking they're going to get that 3, 4, 5 grand for it, whatever the fuck they think they're going to get for it, whatever's market for it, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they run into something where they're just not selling their snakes, like they're just, I don't know. So what's your recommendation, or what have you done maybe to like kind of help yourself realize that, if you have a snake that you're trying to sell and it's not selling for what it's selling, what do you do in that case? Do you just kind of chill and just keep it posted? Do you take it down? Do you fuck with the price? What is it that you do whenever it comes to you posting a snake and it's not selling?
Okay, so I think when it comes to a little bit of the higher end snakes, the right buyer will come eventually. It's not always one of those things that's going to sell right away. You have to have the person that's looking for that specific thing. So personally, I just keep it. I let it ride. A lot of the times, especially if it's a female, if it doesn't sell, big whoop, I'll just breed it.
Right.
But for the most part, someone will always come along. I usually keep the same price as long as it's in line with the current market price. If someone, messages me and they're serious and they offer a good price, then I'll lower it for sure. But I'm not worried about sitting on something, and usually it's gone within 18 months, worst case.
Worst case, but you stick to it. That's
Yeah,
what you got to believe in what you're pricing. Exactly.
100%.
Thank you so much, Nicole. This has been an amazing episode. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you got a lot going on. I know, moving, obviously I have a taste of how stressful moving is, but I'm not as advanced in my movement career right now as you are right now. So God bless you. I hope everything goes well.
Thank you.
And keep killing it. But like I said, we're not done. We got some hot seat questions. Okay. So that being said, please do not pull a JP Canadian Reptiles on me, please. I don't need an explanation. I just need you to just shoot out the answers as they come, okay?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Nicole Lyons, hot seat questions coming in hot. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Frozen thought or live?
Live.
8 cut or no cut?
No cut.
Red neochondro or yellow neochondro?
Red.
Okay. Pre-first shed meal or post first shed meal?
Post first shed meal.
Okay. Straight bake or no straight bake, incubation wise?
Straight.
Okay. Yay imports or boo imports?
Yay, of course.
Okay. To mist or not to mist?
No mist.
Okay. Sports or no sports?
Nah, no sports.
Okay. Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
Sweet. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Nice. Big flexor or no flexor?
No flexor.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Eminem or Machine Gun Kelly?
Eminem.
All right. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West Coast.
Favorite West Coast rapper?
Eminem.
Favorite West Coast state?
Oh my God.
Got you.
Cali? I don't know.
Thank you. Little word association. First thing to come to mind.
Okay.
Milk.
Cereal.
Cocoa.
Butter.
Egg box.
Can I say box?
That's what comes to your mind.
All right.
Okay. Stuck shed.
Water.
Ovulation.
Prelay shed.
Day 55.
Pipping.
Assist fed.
Crappy.
Instagram trolls.
Funny.
One has to go forever, and I mean forever. Instagram or Facebook? Which one is it?
Facebook.
All right, there you have it from Nicole yourself, dude. This Saturday has been cracking off. We had about just a little bit over 60 people in the building, which
Sweet.
for Saturday that is banging. So I gotta say, what do you have to say to everyone who supports you? All the Americans, all the Canadians. You had Norway in the building. You had everyone tapped in. What do you have to say to all your supporters out there, Nicole?
Thanks so much for the support, guys. I always appreciate it. Check me out, Facebook, Instagram, Morph Market, all that stuff. Love you guys.
Damn, no longer slept on. I can tell you that. Nicole Lyons,
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. Hey, thank you so much. Again, good luck with the rest of your move. And
Thank you.
I'm going to be sending you those accounts. I want you to tap in with those accounts and see what they got going on. And you can thank me later.
Awesome. Will do. Thanks.
All right. Nicole Lyons, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Have a good day.
See ya.
Wow. She was sick. Thank you so much, Will. You are the man. I appreciate it. Shout out to my man General with that generous. There's Will, Big Willis. But shout out to the General so much for that $50 super chat at the very end, shooting that over to US Arc. I appreciate all the other super chats. You guys are awesome. And if this was your first time tuning in, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell. That way you're on top of every single Trap Talk with MJ podcast. That way you're on top of every single vlog that I come out with on Fridays. And man, you just never know what I'm going to do on these channels. Just never know. But Canada, thank you so much for repping. Nicole, Thank you so much for spending your time on Trap Talk. And man, I'll see you guys next week. I have somebody heavy in the game who's coming on. I have not seen this guy on any podcasts before. And I'm going to go trying to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure this dude's never been on any other podcast before. And I'm bringing him on Thursday night, Ball Pythons for sure. So just be ready. This shit's not going to stop. Again, thank you for all the support out there. Shout out to my Patreon family. I will see you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll tap into you guys next week. I'm out.